Did you know that despite making up 50% of sellers, women hold just 30% of the sales leadership roles? It's not a pipeline problem. That's a promotion problem. Welcome to the Women in Sales Leadership podcast, where we make the new rules of success for high-performing women in sales. And I'm your host, Amy Evans, sales leader turned executive coach. After 25 years in the trenches at Salesforce, EDP, and startups, I now help ambitious sales managers step into second-line leadership roles. If you are ready to lead with authority, earn what you're worth, and make a bigger impact, you are in the right place. Click follow so the next episode will be waiting for you. Welcome back to Women in Sales Leadership. I'm your host, Amy Evans, and I'm so glad that you are here today listening. Wow. It is already the end of January. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You know, all that energy that we had at maybe Jan 1 and coming off the holidays of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This year's going to be different. And here's all the stuff that I'm going to do. And then bam, I don't know about you. Maybe you just got off to the races and we're starting like a rocket ship. I hope so. But if you're anything like me, the reality is you're faced with, life started to happen in the face of all of the things that start to occur, like being shot out of a cannon into a brand new year, coming off of 2 weeks of time off, which I'm so grateful for. And if you were lucky enough to have 2 weeks off too, but whoa, like vacation hangover. And now it's time. Now it's time to revisit what you started with. New Year resolutions, I'm not a believer in them. I like goals. And I bet you do too, SMART goals. And if you've done the work in some of the conversations that we've had up to this point, you already know how you feel on Sundays walking into your work week. Whether you are working for a company, whether you're working for yourself, or, anything in between that you might have going on in your life. And you likely have a sense that this year is your year. You want it to be different. And the only thing that I have learned, I've learned a lot of things. There's not just this one, but the one that relates to this is nothing changes if nothing changes. Ugh, God, I know it stinks because it means you have to actually do something. But the truth is you aren't afraid of doing things. You're here because you're a doer. You make shit happen. You get stuff done every single day. And when it comes to yourself though, and what you want for your life, sometimes you take a back seat. Not today, not in today's conversation. This one is for you. So much is going on in our heads at all times with regard to what's happening in our lives and where do we want to take ourselves. And this moment is for you right now in this conversation to get 4 things. 4 things. By the end of this conversation today, you are going to have 4 foundational pillars of your 2026 plan. Your 2026 plan. And that plan is forward motion, forward progression. You aren't here. My nose itches for a second. You aren't here because you want to stay put and stay still. You like to grow. And you like to grow. You like to learn. You're an achiever. And this can all happen for you this year. It's not too late just because it's the end of January. Who cares? So what I'm going to give you is the 4 foundational pillars of your 2026 plan to get where you want to go. To get where you want to go. To get where you want to go in your career. To get where you want to go in your business. To get where you want to go in whatever dream it is that you are pursuing, that you want to make happen. We greatly underestimate what we can get done in a 12-month period. And here we are, still at the beginning. And so let's begin. This is your year. This is the kind of year where you can take your business, you can take your earnings from $250,000 a year, $300K a year, to $500,000, $1 million or more. You can do this in this year. And it comes down to these 4 foundational pillars of effective transformation and transitions. Anytime you're making a change, whether it's a promotion, a new role that you want, you're growing your business, there has to be these foundational changes that happen. And what's great is that there are only 4 of them. You can do them. And the reason I know you can do them is you've done them before. You've done them before. You have been, think about it, in other places in your life, along your journey, you've had to really make big changes to get where you are. You've had to face down fear. You've had to face down doubt. You've had to face down obstacles and challenge and difficulty. So you're used to this stuff. This is your game that you play. 4 pillars to get you to transform into whatever your objective is for this year, whether it's make more money, whether it's get the next job, whether it's grow your business. So pillar number 1, let's jump in right away. Pillar number 1 is something that, oh my gosh, it sounds so soft, and it sounds like, how can this be the main pillar? When you hear me talk about it, it's everything. It's everything. Everything begins with one place and one place only, and that is your identity. So pillar number 1 is an identity shift from where you are now and who you're being right now. And who you're being right now is not wrong or bad. Who you're being right now has done a lot of badassery and amazing things to get you to this point, okay? You are here to grow. And so to get to the place where you want to grow, you do engage in an identity shift. What the hell does that mean, Amy? What am I talking about? I can hear you say, like, how do I change my identity? I don't know. Let me tell you. So this core issue I'll tell you what's not holding you back. I'll tell you what's not been preventing you from moving forward. And that is your capability. Because like I just told you, and you already know, you've done really hard stuff before. You've gotten through really difficult things, health issues, career issues, relationship issues. You've done it. You've conquered it. And when you've done those things, it's not what your capabilities are or what your experience are. It's fully in how you think about yourself and rechanneling some of that 23-year-old energy where you knew everything and you knew exactly how you were going to go do your life and you knew what was right and what was wrong and what to do next. And you were fearless because you didn't have a lot at risk. What changes when you embrace that kind of bold energy, that identity shift, is you get some clarity, number 1, on what is it are you up to this year? What's your change about? Are you gunning for a promotion? Do you want to get that big promotion? Do you want to leave your company? Scary? Is it scary? Maybe. I don't know. You've done 1,000 scary things before. To leave your company and go take a step up in comp and excitement and get fired up about your job again, growing your business to a whole nother level and increasing your earnings and doing it for all the reasons that motivate and inspire you. This all comes down to an identity shift, and it makes you go from this identity of who you are right now to who you want to be, your aspirational self. And for me, in my journey, right, I've been an executive sales leader. I've been an individual contributor from career, right? And now I'm a founder and a CEO of my own company. And so that is a huge identity shift that I have had to embrace. The buck stops with me. Something doesn't get done, I'm leading the team. No one else is. Strategy is off. That's on me. So you get to step into this identity that you want. Is your identity as an executive sales leader who earns $1 million a year? Is your identity as a successful CEO and founder of a business that makes $1 million a year, that you can work half as much time as you once used to and be able to take vacations when you want with your family? Boy, show me somebody who doesn't want that. The identity is first. So when you come up with that identity,
that's when you begin to have this pillar of change and transformation. And what that looks like is it's how you're thinking about who you're becoming. Nobody just wakes up one day and you get whatever the job is, or you grow the company to whatever you want the revenue to be, and all of a sudden you're like, boom, I'm an amazing executive, I'm an amazing leader. No, you become that. There's a becoming that happens behind the scenes, and the first place it happens is right here. It happens in your mind, and it really happens in your heart. In your heart, when you have that alignment between your mind, your heart, this is who I am, this is who I'm becoming. I might not know everything I need to know yet. I'm learning and I'm becoming that, because that is who I aspire to be and what I aspire to be. And it has to really fire you up. So put some thought into what does that identity look like. And I'll give you a clue that when I've been talking about this right now with you, that if something has popped into your mind of like, this is what I want my identity to be, like I want to grow into this, your first answer is almost always the right answer, because your subconscious already knows what you've been dreaming of and what your heart desires. So seeing yourself as someone who influences strategy, who makes strategic decisions, who makes the kind of money that you want to make, who is the kind of leader that you've always dreamed of having for yourself, that shift is from an execution mindset to a strategic mindset, from a I'm just making the donuts and delivering the number to I'm strategically governing the go-to-market. I'm strategically growing my business in a way that aligns with me, who I am, my leadership, and the kind of person and the gifts that I bring to the world and my team, right? I know I talk really big here, but this is what is at stake, because you are not just this person operating in your 9 to 5, or let's face it, nobody works 9 to 5 anymore, operating in the whatever role you have right now today. You have something bigger that you're dreaming about inside of you. And this is how you begin to get access, is through this identity shift. And it all begins with language. Every idea, every dream you've ever had, everything you've ever decided to do started with language. I want to go get a college degree. Guess what? Began with language. I think I'm going to go into sales. Began with language. I want to be a mom. I don't want to be a mom. Language. All of these things begin with your language. And so the language that we're most often hearing in this echo chamber that we live in, called being a human being, is this internal dialogue, this self-talk, where you start to think about and open yourself up to this dream of this next step up. And this internal dialogue can begin to feel like this voice, right? The voice that I talk about, when I say voice that's talking to you and you say, what voice? That's the voice, the one that said what voice. Okay. So this voice says, oh, I can't be that because I'm just this. That's this voice. You begin to change that language of the voice when you get yourself really seeing and believing that you can and you will get to this next level of leadership and execution and accomplishment and impact that you are fired up to do. And that makes you say, whew, I'd be so jazzed if I woke up every single day and I was doing this. And I was making bank doing it. And I was having fun. And I got to use all my gifts, because you have gifts. You have gifts that nobody else has. Nobody. No one. Genetically. I don't know. I'm not a geneticist, but I did study genetics. And I don't know if twins count or not. So somebody would have to tell me that. But there's nobody else that's really like you, that's had your lived experience, that has your special sauce that you bring to the situation. So being able to audit how you're talking to yourself and recognizing where you begin to have the opportunity to make more strategic impact in what you're doing right now today, right now, next week, the week following that, this quarter? What are some of the strategic things that you can start to do? One or two, don't make it too overwhelming, right? And begin to change that voice from I'm just a whatever to I'm a strategic executive. I'm the CEO of my life. I'm the CEO of my own business, because really you are. Whether you're working for a company or not, you're still running your own business in that construct. Speaking in that language really nails the identity component, where you begin to think about, when you think about, okay, what would it take if I were the CEO of my own business, and that business is a $200 million business inside of a B2B SaaS company, for example. How does that change how I'm thinking and speaking about the business? Am I just talking about quota? Am I just talking about deals? Am I just talking about whether we're going to hit forecast for this month or this quarter? And I'm also talking about strategically, how can we reduce our cost of sale? How can we increase customer retention? How can we get ahead of service issues more quickly? How do we begin to think more strategically about plugging up revenue leaks so that growing the revenue becomes faster, more efficient, and you get more profitable clients for your business, for your team? And who has to be on the team, right? That strategic stuff is already there for you. You wouldn't be at this level if you didn't know how to solve really complex problems. If you didn't know how to come in, see a mess, and know how to clean it up and put it all together. Come on, we do that every day, right? Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to start talking about more and thinking in terms of, if I were operating as a CEO, what would I be thinking about? What would I be thinking about? Because when you begin to think in a CEO type mindset, then your identity is shifting into that, and your language begins to shift into that. I worked with a sales leader who was really, such a dynamo. And this sales leader is kicking major booty. I mean, she has been promoted every single year she's been eligible to get promoted, every year, when she wanted to get promoted. And she's come in and blown her number out. But it wasn't always that way. When she came to me and we started working together, she was working in an entirely different industry, not even actually in sales. But when we connected and I met with her, we looked at what was her previous job. What was she responsible for? What was she measured on? What were her KPIs? Revenue, utilization, profitability. Customer service, right? All of the things that go into being an excellent sales leader, a sales executive inside of a business, executing at a really high level. When she decided she wanted to change industries, she came to me and said, I really want to do this. And I said, I know you can do it. You have the absolute core. Let's rework how you're talking about yourself to you first. Let's with data, look at facts of what you've accomplished and how it aligns to the language of this new industry that you want to now be in. And she did. And she got the job. In the first role that she had, and she's been promoted twice since then. The first role that she had, she was earning over $100K than she was previously making before. That's real money. That's real money. So this is why it matters, and why when you walk into a room, you want to have that, you have that kind of confidence based on knowing what you want, knowing what you're starting to become, and embracing those gifts that you already have. So that's that identity. That's that identity pillar. Pillar number 2 is nailing your story and how you tell it. Oh my goodness. Most leaders, and do not feel crummy if this is you, because a lot of leaders do this. Most leaders that I work with and executives I work with, they cannot tell their own career story in a memorable way. They start in some kind of chronological order and zigzag all over the place, hit numbers, don't provide context, downplay their wins. Oof, I see that win a lot. Use language like we instead of I, because I know you are all about the team. I get it. But using language like we instead of I does not help you. And doing things like listing responsibilities instead of highlighting the impact that you made. The framework that you use to get access to career stories, like your story, what have you done, is to not look at your career story as your resume. Your resume is your resume, okay? A career story is exactly that. It's the story that connects the dots between the impacts that you've made and the experiences you've had and what that executive that you're talking to is trying to achieve. What do they want? What do they want? How do you give them what they want, what they're looking for, by way of this is what you did before? There's a way to do this where you tell your story and try it. Like, try telling your story. Like, how would you tell your story? Someone said, tell me your story. Try it. If you want to do it in a super non-threatening way, like get out your voice memo app on your phone and just do it. Do not practice. Don't feel the need to be perfect, because it won't be. And just say, how do I tell my story, your career story, and start to tell it. Record yourself and listen to it back. Okay. You'll already know some of the things you need to adjust there. What makes a difference is when you actually have rehearsed it. When you can tell people what you do, what impact you bring, what are the outcomes that you deliver, regardless of which conversation you're in. Are you in a promotion conversation? Are you in an interview conversation? Are you in a sales conversation? Why should somebody buy your XYZ? Your ability to deliver the why they should buy you, because they all buy us first before they buy anything. So why should they buy you is this 90-second elevator pitch. So if you record yourself telling your story, you could choose to, just saying, an option you could choose to do is take that recording. There's a way to look it up how to do this, but then you take the transcript of that recording, load it up into your friendly AI tool, and ask it to help you rework your story, or ask it to interview you to get deeper into what your story is. So this goes from, like, I'll give you an example of what does this look like. Okay. So, instead of saying something like, hey, I managed a team. I managed a team of 10 AEs, or I managed a team of 7 leaders, or I managed a $200 million portfolio, turns into, I rebuilt a struggling territory and delivered $15 million in new revenue and developed 2 future leaders for the business. So that transition between I managed something to here was the impact that I delivered. Impact is not, we achieved 100% of plan. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, anybody can achieve 100% of the plan one time. Bluebirds, come on, you all know it. Sometimes you just get lucky. What's more impactful is when you showed up and it was a disaster and a dumpster fire, and you cleaned it up and had like a crummy experience or bad results and turned them into great results. Or the reason that you got to 100% was at the beginning of the year, the team did not have a shot at making the number, and you did 2 or 3 things that really made a big difference. It's the story behind the result that differentiates you. There is this shame that we all have. We were all taught this one thing. Do not brag about yourself. It's not polite. It's not polite to brag. And, oh, come on. We all know those leaders who don't shut up about themselves, and it's not cool, and nobody likes that, right? However, there is a way to state facts and achievements of what you have actually accomplished without it feeling, without it feeling like bragging. Now, some of it is you got to get access to the, that part of yourself that's like damn proud of what you've done in your career, and you should be, because people don't get to play at this game at this level unless you've delivered the goods again and again. You just don't. And just because you've done it over and over again and you make it look like not hard doesn't mean that you shouldn't talk about the achievements and the facts of those achievements. And those facts are not bragging. They're not bragging at all. And why this matters is, when you are talking about those achievements and you feel comfortable, and a phrase that you can use is, I am so proud of what I was able to accomplish with this team this year. Notice what I was able to accomplish with this team, with my team this year. You are the one leading that team. You must take ownership of the fact that you were the leader. Okay? I'm so proud of it because of this. We were faced with this challenge. This is how we overcame it. We were faced with that challenge. This is how we overcame it. We had all the things that happen, whether you were like down team members or had an account that was about ready to leave and you rescued them and added revenue in addition to getting the renewal, whatever those heroic stories are, you have those stories. So there's deal stories. And then you can also talk about some of the processes, some of the things that you are doing that are so unique to how you do it. And here's the thing. You're not going to think what you're doing is that unique. It is. It is unique. The fact that you run your quarterly business review not as the 45 slideshow that everybody works all this time to prepare. They present it once in your stinking meeting, and then everybody walks away and forgets about it until the next quarter, and then they come back and relook at this slide deck again. No, you're not doing that with your business. Or if you are, maybe there's a chance for you to make an innovation this year and make a change. I happen to know a leader who made this one innovation on her team, and it was the secret to success. They treated the quarterly business review not as a show and tell on PowerPoint slides, but as a chance to strategically organize the business by each member of the team and have that person utilize that QBR, the quarterly business review, as a true plan that of like, here's what happened, here's what we're going to do next, and a tracking that goes along with it. So it became a tool that was reviewed every week in one-on-ones instead of just this show up, forget it, right? One example. Hey, quick break for a second. If you are a sales leader who is ready for your next step up, and I'm talking about leading other sales leaders, becoming a director, a VP, even a CRO, then this is for you. I'm hosting a free workshop. You can grab your spot at amyevanscoaching.com. This is for sales leaders who are in tech and are wanting to land jobs where you can earn anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million a year. And again, you can grab your spot at amyevanscoaching.com. Okay, back to the show. Ability to get access and feel comfortable. Now, here's the thing. So many of us think that we can just wing it in telling these stories about ourselves without rehearsing or having a little bit of practice. You would never let somebody on your team walk into a multi-million-dollar opportunity and not rehearse beforehand, right? Neither would you. So rehearsal is critical, and making your story your own so it's somebody could repeat it back. What you're looking for is to be able to tell your story, the impact that you've made, the impact that your business has for your clients, and be able to remember that in a way that resonates for them, that they could repeat it once they leave that conversation. And if you are in the mode of wanting to step up inside of a company or get another job externally, or even if you're a founder and you're wanting to grow your business, it's all landing on this third pillar, which is your network, your sponsorship network. You need sponsorship, whether you are going to get a promotion, whether you are going to get a new role at a new company, or you want sponsored intros into opportunities that your business can sell, right? So what doesn't work anymore is this old, show up to a networking event and hand out, business cards or your LinkedIn QR code or whatever. That's not what works anymore. What works is taking the time to build two different flavors of relationships. So first relationship in this building your network is getting mentors. Okay. Mentors give you advice. They're guides who have been where you've been before. And if you don't have a mentor right now, okay, let go of whatever story you've told yourself in me just saying, if you don't have a mentor right now, okay, let go of that and choose to go get a mentor. And if you're thinking, oh, that person doesn't have enough time to help me, they're too busy. Maybe they are too busy. Maybe they don't have time to help you. They also could really want to help you and be willing to make the time. So that's an opportunity to try that on. One of the things that as leaders, true leaders, get further and further along in their careers, executives and leaders, one of the things they begin to think about and care about more and more is the impact that they've had in their careers, the impact that they've had for others that they've led. Yeah, they want to make the money. Yeah, they want to, have power, influence, all the things, be able to learn new things and grow and develop themselves. But one thing that they are typically extremely aligned on wanting is impact. And one of the ways that leaders deliver impact is being willing to take on mentors. And you are probably already thinking about a person that you wish you had as a mentor. Somebody who maybe you've had stories in your head why they would say no or why you don't want to reach out. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen if you reached out and got a mentor? They say no. What if they say yes? What if they say yes? So there's mentors. That's this sponsorship network. And then there are sponsors. Okay, sponsors are the champions. You know what sponsors are. You sell for a living. You lead sales leaders, but sponsors for you. People who would emphatically speak on your behalf when you're not in the room to say, she's freaking ready. And she's been ready for a long time. And I believe she's the absolute perfect person to come in and help us solve this problem. Because every job opportunity, every promotion, every business opportunity is a problem waiting to be solved by you. It's a problem. They have a problem, or else they wouldn't need you. So when you are looking at this lens of network, is this opportunity to this year set about a plan. Remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. So set about a plan of reaching out. Reach out to that person that you'd love to have be a mentor and This is what it looks like. Like, hey, I've always admired your leadership. I aspire to get to your level one day. Would you be open to having a 20-minute conversation with me? And just start with that. Don't go to like, will you be my mentor? It's like asking somebody if they'll marry you on the first date. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. Just let's have the conversation. See if there's a fit. And then in that conversation, you say, one of the reasons I came to you is that I really am looking to find a mentor to support me in this journey that I'm on right now, right? There is someone dying to go help you. I mentored a sales leader last year. Why? She asked me. Now, I can't do that all the time. I've got a very busy calendar where I'm working with clients and I've got commitments for, what I'm committed to deliver for them. However, she found me. We had a conversation. We hit it off, and I'm like, I will absolutely mentor you. I normally charge people for this work. Didn't charge her a dime. Meantime, she got a promotion while we were working together. I mentored her through getting a promotion, and she changed companies and she got a raise about 40 grand in the process. So you'd be surprised at how many people are out there dying, but sponsors are different. So sponsors are, right, these multiple layers of champions. Think about all the areas of the business that you touch right now today, every area. And if you're not inside of a company and you think about your business that you're running, think about all of the parts in the community where your customer is influenced, right? Who do they trust besides friends and family, which is definitely on the list, but who else, what other professionals can you connect with that could help sponsor you into opportunities, sponsor you into relationships? And for you who are looking to grow inside of a company or externally, again, those are you just ask. I am looking for this. I have an objective of this year. Can we, again, similar to the mentor conversation, can we have a conversation about it? And in that conversation, you say, I'm gunning for this role. Or, if you feel like you're open to, if you feel like you can share that you're going to do a confidential job search, that's fine. You also could just say, I'm looking to grow my career. I really would love to have your endorsement. Is it do you want someone to endorse you on LinkedIn? Do it. Ask and in writing. I mean, I can't think of a better way that's going to live with you and follow you everywhere in your profile. This person's endorsement of you. That's the lowest hanging fruit. And when it comes time to actually interview for a role internally, that's when you want to ask them to take those endorsements and you say, hey, remember when you wrote me this endorsement on LinkedIn? Can you shoot it via Slack message or email or whatever the mode is inside your company to the people who have to see it on your behalf, right? You get this swell of sponsorship, just like you wouldn't single thread a decision inside of a buying opportunity. You don't want to single thread that for your sponsorship. So multiple layers of champions. Your direct boss might be on the list, maybe not. That's fine. Skip level executives could be on the list. I hope so. If not, it could be a reason for you to start developing a better relationship there. Make sure that you're honoring the chain of command rules, where, you either have to come up with a reason to have a skip level conversation or your boss has to be on board with it. Do not surprise your boss with a skip level conversation because, we know what happens there. You go to the skip level leader, you talk to them directly. The first thing they're going to do is pick up the phone and call your boss and say, hey, did you realize she's reaching out to me about this? And if your boss doesn't know, that makes him look bad, which is, come on, nobody wants that. Peers who will be promoted before you are on this list. Other peers who will be promoted can help be sponsors. People in different areas of the business, whether it's supporting roles, legal, tech, customer success, all those areas are people who can be on your list of sponsorship folks, right? And one thing you can choose to do is to really ask, don't be afraid to ask for what you want in that conversation and be humble, be yourself, and ask them if they'd be comfortable, right? These are relationships are authentic, real relationships. Okay. Let's get to our fourth pillar. Okay. So we're going to get to number 4. We've gone through 3 pillars. We're getting to magic number 4, which is your value creation. Ooh, what does that mean, Amy? Okay. So I bet this is a challenge I see frequently. I bet you are doing amazing work. And I also bet that only your team knows about it. Nobody else knows. Your boss maybe doesn't know. That boss doesn't know, right? And making any kind of assumption that your boss is going to advocate on your behalf, oof, that's dicey. Remember, the person you report to is managing their own career as well. And the strategy is to really find ways to showcase your strategic thinking and business impact. So I can't think of a senior leader that isn't looking for wins to highlight on monthly calls or quarterly calls. And one thing you can choose to do is to be that person that says, hey, we have cracked the code on something that's really working on my team. I'd love to talk about it on your next call, right? Or share with you how it's working and get your perspective on if you think other teams in the business could benefit from this process that we do, right? So this is a chance to show that it's not just a self-promotion, but you are contributing value at the level that you want to operate. When you start thinking about the fact that they have airtime they need to fill on these kickoffs, quarterly, monthly, whatever update that they're doing, town halls, you show up looking like you are helping make their lives easier, and you get a chance to tell your story, and you get a chance to help other teams get better at the game, which is what we're all up to, right? So this is where you start to volunteer. You speaking up in meetings. Do not hide. Please don't hide in conversations. You have great ideas. You wouldn't be at the level that you're at if you didn't. And if you are hiding, not sharing them because you're afraid of something, let it go, babe. Let it go. Get out there and see what you can do. So every quarter, the best thing you can do, if you haven't done it already this year, because it's still the beginning of the year, if you haven't done it already this year, sit down, get a spreadsheet out, and document what happened this year. Just get it loosely down. Make notes, okay? And position what those accomplishments were by here's what I accomplished with my team. And here's strategically what we're going to be doing this next year. This is where, you can start to catapult past, maybe just closing out your fiscal year, launching straight into your kickoff, and then boom, everybody's in Q1 and you're wondering like, what the hell happened, right? This ability to document what you've done starts to get it in front of you so that your accomplishments are in front of you. You're thinking about them. You're revisiting them on a quarterly basis, and you can do this. You can do this. It's entirely doable. Okay, let's bring this all together. So recap, we got 4 pillars that we talked about. Number 1, identity shift. Okay, start thinking like the executive that you are becoming. Number 2, work on your career story. Really work on it. There's 2 or 3 things that you probably can point to that are big impacts that you made along your career and maybe in the past 3 to 5 years or even further back in your journey that have formed who you are, your leadership, and how you approach the game. The sponsorship. Go get a mentor right now today. Do not pass go. People are dying to help you. They really are. There's somebody sitting there feeling like, man, I really want to be making more of an impact. I want to be contributing more. They're not going to come reach out to you and say, would you like to? No, you have to raise your hand and give them an invitation to support you in your journey. There's nothing better for true leaders than helping build other leaders. It's the game. It's what I love to do myself, right? So then working on your sponsorship, and start it now, because those sponsors, you don't just need them when you're getting ready to, make a promotion move. We're all living in a world where we don't know what is going to happen next. And I mean, now more than ever, we know that. Some of you have been through big career transitions. Some of you have been through layoffs. Some of you haven't. And if you haven't, the chances of it happening are pretty high. So having that stuff ready to go is like a deposit in your savings account that you make for yourself in your career. And then really showcasing this value creation, right? Making sure that people see the strategic impact you're making by you starting to feel comfortable with telling your story, talking about the secret sauce, like what's under the hood of this engine that looks like it just runs beautifully and just shows up and executes every year and every quarter again and again. Hey, that doesn't happen by magic on its own. You are doing really cool things that you probably have even forgotten about that you're doing. Okay. These are the things that will make an impact for you this year. So this is my invitation. So if this is your year and you are done, you're done pretending that you're okay with not getting where you want to go this year. You're done and you're ready. You're ready to take action. Come be with me. I am committed to helping sales leaders and people who want to step into sales leadership navigate what's involved and execute. The leaders that work with me, they make huge moves. They change industries. They get big jumps up in responsibility and comp. And they're like alive and feeling alive and high energy. Once again, like they are jazzed about showing up to work every day because they are fired up. They aren't doing the thing that they don't love anymore. Like they get a chance to really enjoy their work again and be inspired and activated and energized by it, because you deserve that for yourself. So if you want help in building and executing this plan, that's exactly what I do. I have a program called Unlocked Executive Sales Leadership, where I help sales leaders nail their executive mindset, their career story, their sponsorship network, the visibility strategy, and give them the coaching and accountability that goes along with actually getting it done this year, instead of looking back next January, looking back and wishing you'd started sooner, right? This is your chance. This is your opportunity now. So if you want to chat with me, I am here for you all the time. I put on a monthly workshop. You can grab my workshop at amyevanscoaching.com. Again, that's amyevanscoaching.com. Or I am on LinkedIn and can find me at linkedin.com/in/A Lynn Evans. And if you just Google A Lynn Evans, or Google, what do you mean? Well, I guess you can Google inside LinkedIn. Whatever. Turn of phrase. You know what I mean. Find me on LinkedIn. That's where I am. The last thing I'm going to give you is, this is your year. You can make this your year. You are in control of your life. You really are. You're in control of a lot. And it's time to take action. It really is. That's the only thing that's ever saved you from stress. It's the only thing that's ever gotten you to where you are and the results that you want for yourself and your life. And if you are into and up to building an actual plan and building it every single week, you can do that, because you are a person who executes and you do what you say you're going to do with the highest integrity. Go be the leader you know you are. Thank you so much for listening. And if you know a friend who needs to hear this message today, please take a second and forward it to them. If you got something powerful out of this conversation. Drop a note in the comments so we know what you got out of it, right? I produce and sponsor this show myself, so your feedback, your willingness and your generosity to share this conversation with other women who need to hear it helps me continue to make this information free and available everywhere you listen to podcasts. Have a wonderful day. Hey there. Thank you so much for joining today. I know you're a super generous person, and a gift that you could give to someone you know, a friend, a colleague that you think would enjoy today's episode would be to send them a text, share a link to this episode with them. I do produce this show myself, and every time you share it, it helps the podcast grow and it supports the work that I do here. Also, if you happen to be a sales leader who is ready to take your next step up into a leader of leaders role, whether it's via promotion or you're ready to go get that new job at a new company, I'm talking about director roles, VP roles, even CRO roles in B2B tech, where you can earn $500,000 to $1 million or more. The workshop I'm giving is an hour-long workshop. It's totally free. You'll learn the process that I teach my clients on how to effectively position themselves, effectively network, and own their executive presence so they can land the job and get hired and promoted into these big sales leadership roles in B2B tech. If this sounds like you, come grab your spot. It's waiting for you at my website, amyevanscoaching.com, where you can unlock what's next for you.